The Paranormal Chick here. Welcome to episode 16 of my podcast. Today, we are going to talk all things alien, specifically the congressional hearing. Utterly, it's one of the most historic moments in our history, in American history. We are literally watching history unfold before our eyes. I'm like so freaking giddy. I can't even explain and contain my excitement. I just want to talk about it. I really do. You know what's crazy? I had to wait 24 hours after that hearing because I wanted everything to sink in. I wanted to see what mainstream media was saying. I wanted to see what people were saying on all the platforms and just go from there. The first thing that really shocked me is not only was this in a historic moment, not only was it major news, but it was just like everyday news. The government literally came out and confirmed there's UFOs, there's UAPs, there's aliens, there's bodies that they've recovered. And nobody bat an eye. Nobody bat an eye. Why? Is it because there's so much going on that this is just like it's a Wednesday? I was so shocked. And what's even crazier than that is there's still people out there that are holding steady to there's no such thing, that there's nothing out there. I'm just going to stick to the facts. I'm going to stick to what was said in this hearing, and that's really what I want to, point out. The first thing that they did was they allowed them their opening speeches. I thought that was fabulous. I thought it was amazing because it kind of set the precedence of what type of hearing that was being held. Is they each explained, which I actually posted their complete opening statements on my YouTube channel, The Paranormal Chick, as well as my TikTok channel. Well, all of my channels, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter as The Paranormal Chick, CHIC. And I did not separate it, nor did I cut it up. I wanted their whole statement out there because it set the precedence for that hearing. It really set the tone for what was being asked, what was being said, what they were experiencing, all of it. Why they were and are the whistleblowers. It's interesting, and this is my opinion. The term whistleblower, it's being leveraged a lot, and not just within the UFO community, UAP community, other stuff, corporations, spy, CIA, internal, a lot of that. A lot of them are coming forward because I believe it's a form of protection. We have history where the government goes in and quiets people up. They take them out. That has been our past MO. So for these people to come forward and to do it the way that they're doing, it's almost a layer of security, of protection, because if these men disappear now, we'll know automatically who to point to. And sadly, it would be our own government. So it's interesting that they're all coming forward, but I'm asking why? Why now? What's happening behind the scenes that we're not aware of that is causing not only whistleblowers to step forward, but for our own government to finally allow it? They could have stopped this congressional hearing. They could have actually stopped it from happening. They could have put so many roadblocks in the way that it wouldn't have happened for years to come. And I'm sure that they did. They probably did try to, but they could have done a whole lot more to make sure this did not happen. But they allowed it. The powers that be allowed it. Why? That's the question we need to be asking, is why? What's coming that is probably out of their control, that either they tell us on their own or we're going to be told by something or someone else? And nobody's asking that question. Everybody's fascinated with, and don't get me wrong, I'm super fascinated with everything that was spilled, all the beans that were let out in that hearing. But the main question we need to be asking is why now? What's changing? What haven't we seen? So that I just want to put that out there. But now let's get into the hearing. So these men had a lot to say. Unfortunately, a lot of it could not be said because it is classified, and especially with David Grush. He could not say as much as you could tell that he wanted to. But it's interesting that he confirmed that we have retrieved UFOs with bodies, non-human bodies, which he did confirm. He confirmed we have retrieved craft with bioessence that is non-human. That is literally writing on the wall. That is literally the confirmation that we need, that we've all been wanting. There's aliens, guys. We are not alone. And it's all the worries. And that goes back to what I said. I wanted to wait a full 24 hours to see the temperature out there, to see how everybody's response is, to see what's going on. Do we have mass chaos in the streets? No. Are people rioting? No. Are we fighting and blowing up stuff? No. We literally just woke up today, Thursday, continued on with our lives. It's like we're waiting for the next big trend or the next big social media craze. I guess having confirmation of aliens wasn't enough. So now it makes me actually question, because I used to be one of those that was on board that maybe we can't release too much to the public too soon. I actually used to agree with that, because history shows us when change happens and it happens too fast, be it segregation, stopping racism, stopping, voting for women having rights. When all of change like that, something big to change the essence of who we are or how we live our lives, it does cause turmoil and it does cause chaos. So I was always one that always said that maybe it's a good thing the government hasn't said that we aren't alone or that there really are aliens, because I was more afraid people would freak out, people would riot, we would have internal chaos and craziness. But I am so pleasantly shocked and surprised that is not what happened. Are we finally evolving as a species that when new change happens, new things occur, we go with the flow, so to say? Are we ready to evolve to that next phase of our existence of what it means to be a human being? Maybe we're that much more accepting. Wouldn't that be freaking awesome? That's just my personal opinion. But I'm just saying, wouldn't it be amazing if that's the reason why we're not seeing the whole craziness 24 hours later after this hearing? I know we still have some people that just absolutely refuse to believe. They absolutely refuse to believe it. And that's okay as well. That's not a problem. But the evidence, that's what I'm so happy about, is not only did they stick to the evidence, and they said it at the very beginning of the hearing, they weren't going to bring in aliens, they weren't going to bring in little green men. And I'm actually glad that they did not. I'm glad that they stuck to the facts, to the witness accounts, to the evidence that has already been provided and presented, because that's really how you win cases. As much, I'm the paranormal chick. That is my genre. I love anything and everything paranormal. That's everything mystical and magical that you can think of. That's my jam. But it's not, unfortunately, until it's proven. The only evidence I can provide is what I show on my channels, which are the videos. And that's why I'm so crazy about showing them, is because it's technically evidence. It's evidence to prove that there's something other out there. The next step after that is now to have investigations of it and to show scientific fact that there is something out there. There is something living alongside us that's in a whole, it's in a world of its own. And we need to prove it and show that, yeah, it's there. Sorry, I'm going off on a tangent. So back to the to the hearings. There were so many key things that they talked about. I was just literally for 2.5 hours, I was just mouth open and I could not believe what I was watching. UFO the size of a football field? Did you guys catch that part? A UFO the size of a football field. They witnessed it. So all the videos that people post and that I've shared, those are relatively smaller crafts, right? What if they're like scouting parties? Which actually kind of scares me a little bit. And the UFO that the whistleblower indicated was the size of a football field, what if that? Some other ship. How do we protect our country from something like that? That's literally like Independence Day. That's literally the ship from Independence Day. That kind of freaked me out a little bit. But I don't want to instill fear or anything like that, because I do believe, so he said that they were aware of UFOs within our airspace since the 1930s. I don't know if you guys caught that, but since the 1930s, this has been kept from the public. That means Project Blue Book. That means, all the secret conspiracies and everything that people have talked about, they're not full of crap. They really did happen. So are the crazies really crazy? Are the conspiracists loony? Because yesterday, a lot of them were proven right. Anywho, so we've known about UFOs since the 1930s. That means these extraterrestrial beings, these non-human species, have been visiting our planet probably most likely way before then, because we have them in our history books. We have them in the Bible. It goes back literally to the beginning of time. If they truly wanted to destroy us, they could have. Many times over. So I don't think it's in their best interest, or that they do want to. And I'm not saying all of them, because as we know, there's different types of humans. We have our good, we have our bad, we have our evil, we have, and I'm sure that's the same thing with them. So I'm not saying all of them are going to be all peace and lovey, and no, we're probably going to be introduced into a whole new world of where there are different beings, different, just different, just like us, but different. Verifiably since the 1930s. And then it makes you wonder about our tech. You know how we have our advances of tech, and it seems like every 10 years it shoots up like crazy. And then people are always saying it's too fast. How did we get this tech? Well, it probably wasn't our tech to begin with. Just so many things that, what I really I believe it, but then it's almost shameful to admit, is when they ask them if they've been hurt, and they were basically asked point blank, are you in fear of your life? Yes. In fear of your life for telling the truth by our own government. And that's the next question, is who are these people? Who are these people in office that are making the threats, that are instilling the fear, who are they? Those are the people that need to be pulled out of office. Those are the people that's who we need to get out. Those are it. But did you hear when they said also private corporations, airlines that are putting cease and desist orders on their pilots? We also need to know who are those corporations. Those are the corporations we need to boycott. We truly do. You are not only impacting nation security, but your citizens, us. We are the people of this country. We are the reason why this country is continuing and flourishing. It's not our government. It's not, the rich and the famous. It's us, everyday, blue-collar people who are the backbone of America. If you don't have us anymore, you don't have America. We don't need them. They need us. So we need to know those people's names. We really do. Also, it's more of a protection for those pilots who want to come forward and for other whistleblowers who want to come forward, because it is a dangerous game. I'm very low on the totem pole. I'm probably a speck, but just by opening my mouth, I'm putting a target on myself. But all of that needs to stop. It's just the truth needs to come out and let the dominoes play as they play. Right? That's how a species evolves, is we have to be able to accept change. I mean, we're taught in school, in your careers, you have to be open to change. You have to be willing to change with the times. Otherwise, you're never going to progress forward. Well, that's life. But if you're trying to suppress your own people, how are you going to evolve as a species? How are you going to better a nation if you're trying to suppress your own people? You're shooting yourself in your own foot. Again, my personal opinion. It is so, guys. And literally, I was going through my feeds today, just seeing, thinking, I expected to wake up into my phone blown up with message after message and news report, and nothing. Y'all, there's aliens. It's confirmed. They're real. And nobody is excited about. Am I the only one excited about this? I feel like we're gonna have a whole. So I always reference the new Star Trek movie with Chris Pine. How they're basically all the intergalactic travel and exploring the new worlds, but how they dock in different worlds, right? Humans are mixed in with the aliens and all of that. That's how I picture our future. I really do. That's how I see us, is we're going to have, different beings and races intermingled with humans. But it's just crazy. Nobody's talking about, and maybe it's just I'm not reading the right channels, but it's like nobody's connecting the dots. This is the first of many hearings to come. This is the first. What's going to happen next is they're going to get approved for, their closed door meeting, their SCIF or whatever they called it, their closed door classified session. Then after that, the powers that be are going to get together, compile all the evidence that they're going to declassify or allowed to be shown to the public, and then we're going to see the true evidence. Then after that, we're probably going to, and this is a long way down the road, but then after that, we'll probably have a presidential meeting, a hearing. He'll probably come on and address the nation, but that's long way down the line. It just really depends on if that's what's going to happen in the course of the events. Or they can try to push it back all under the rug, and we won't hear anything about it any further. They can try and say this is how to placate everybody, because the whole UFO phenomenon right now is going crazy. People are seeing crafts and sightings all over, and it's not just the United States, even though on social media people swear it's just the United States. It's not. I see a lot of UFOs in Brazil for some reason. Brazil and South America, they're getting a lot. I don't know. And then I also wonder if it's because of the state of our affairs that's why all of this popped up and why they're showing up so much, meaning the war with Russia, the war with Ukraine, the war potentially with the World War III, if everything keeps progressing the way it does. Is that why they're so heavily involved now and they're making themselves known? Because we know when a nuclear bomb goes off, it not only impacts our planet, but it impacts space. It impacts everything. It's felt out in space. So I can only imagine the damage that we do here, but the damage that it would cause out there. And that's why they're so heavy-handed in their appearance now, and that's why they're kind of forcing their hand. And again, this is my opinion. This is what I'm thinking, because there has to be a reason why. They could have kept lying to us. They could have kept saying, no, it's CGI. No, it's AI. No, it's doctored videos. No, 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 no. And people will believe that. People would totally 100% believe it, because it's safer to believe the lie than to realize that there's more to our world. There's more to our beings. There's more to everything. That's the unknown. That's the scary part, right? So an everyday person is okay with being in their comfort zone, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm just saying that's statistics. That's been proven. But they didn't do that. Like I said, they allowed the hearing to happen. And I just keep going back to why. And maybe I'm stressing out for no reason. Maybe there is no anything coming. But I just don't believe that. It's just so, it's crazy. These last 24 hours, I've just been looking and reading and just thinking like everything people have said, everything people have come forward with, everything. They're not, this should be their validation, their validation. People that would call these people crazy, people that lost their lives. And that is truly the most horrific part of this all. The people that lost their lives. And there's hundreds of them. And all for it to finally come out that they weren't lying. That what they were trying to tell everybody was the truth. And it's horrific and sad. But the only thing we can do as a people, as a nation, is keep moving forward, but hold all our powers that be, all our politicians that work for us accountable. Transparency, it has to be there. We can't feel like our own government is lying to us, because then that's what breaks down a nation, a culture. I love our world. I love the United States. I am like 100% a patriot. I love being an American. I love being free. And I don't want to lose that. But we truly have to hold our politicians and our government and our people that we depend on just as well as they depend on us accountable. They have to be transparent with us, and not just with this, but so much more. But the same token, as we can't lose our ever-loving minds either. Anytime something happens or change occurs, or we find out, hey, werewolves are real. Not saying that they're real, but that's a different conversation for another day. We can't go crazy and start trying to kill everything and anything. It's not the way, it's not how it works. We gotta stop that. But I am going to end it here. Tell me what you guys think. Tell me what you took from this hearing. How do you feel about it? Where do you think we're going to go to next? Do you think more is coming? Or is this going to be pushed right under the rug like everything else? All I know is it's going to be an interesting rest of the 2023. And my only advice is keep recording. Keep looking up. Don't be quiet anymore. Put it out there. They can't shush us all. They can't keep us all quiet. Have a voice. And be kind. And be open to change, because that's really what it feels like, is we're going through this huge, massive change, and we have to be open to it and accepting of it. But I'm going to continue with my video evidences that I post. Be sure to follow me, FYI. You'll see all those lovely videos I post, and you can see it on my TikTok, my YouTube, Instagram, or Twitter. The Paranormal Chick, CHIC. God, I had to get that off my chest. But tomorrow we'll go back to our normal program, which I love to talk about everything paranormal, so I'll have some more stories for you. If you have your own stories, experiences that you want to share, please send them to me. You can email me at theparanormalchick@gmail.com or theparanormalchick@icloud.com, and that's chick, CHIC. Also, if you have video evidence that you want to share but you want to remain anonymous, send it to me via IG. If you can't send it to me in email, you can drop it to me in IG. I'll take a look at it and let me know. Oh, that's the key thing, is when you guys are sending me emails, please let me know if you want to remain anonymous or you're okay if I tag you or announce who you are. It's really important. But other than that, I will talk to you all tomorrow. Be safe and good night.